Hello folks, back week 6 on the total process, but week 1 for tigereye, or blue tigereye rather. Let's see what week 1 looks like. We got a good old tumbler here. Pop the cap. Now comes the fun part. Break the seal open. Let's see what we got cooking. It's a different kind of color slurry. It's kind of an off looking. I hear some snickers and giggles and rude comments in the background from the camera crew. But these, oh my gosh, these are looking beautiful. Quite a few beautiful chips in here. And as we go along here, see what we got. Oh dear. Let's just, whoa, too beautiful. Okay, we're looking good, folks. I'm gonna change some water here and we'll be right back. All right, here we go, folks. We're working on this. We're gonna get it all clean, and there goes my neighbors just ruining my shot. They always just love to get their 2 cents worth into my business. Why, I have no idea, but anyways, I'm sure we all have those kind of neighbors. Let's see what we got here in the color. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a beautiful run here. The different layers in there is gonna really come out nice. And some hematite showing through. Yeah, we're gonna have beauty here. Oh my, it's just so good. And as we go along, just want to make sure you get all the grit off the stones real good, out of the crevices. Any fracture lines, make sure they're cleaned out well. But as we're going to go along here, we're going to see some beautiful color up here. It's amazing from 1 week what a run can do. A lot of beauty in these stones. We'll go ahead and take a break. We'll get caught up on all this. We can get some close-ups on these beautiful stones as we come out. All right, folks, we're back. You see a pile of rocks. Gee, James, I think we got ripped off. These don't look very pretty. Well, here comes the part that I like. As you start loading the barrel again for the next run, you get them a little wet. You get to see the fire in them. You see the different color. Get out of the picture. And the flash. So the more we run them, the less water you need to get the fire out of them. This one right here is just going to be, I think, a gorgeous, gorgeous rock. And the color it's going to have with the flash. Now this had a little space in the back as I was cleaning it, and it chipped on me. So unfortunately, he's out of the bath. But as we go along, we pick out the little ones. We can do a little bit with those. But as you go through, you can see just some of the layering. This one kind of almost like clouds in the sky. A little bit of lightning maybe, I don't know. Then you got the back side here, or the top side, or whatever side you decide it is. You got some nice inclusion here. the host rock, the darker area right in here, that's all hematite. And as it polishes out, it'll kind of get the rainbow hue to it. We'll go through here and get this one wet. And here's another one that's got that banding in there. It almost looks like a storm. As you can see, it's just gonna got some host rock and a little bit of hematite layering in through there. We have different layers of fire in through here, especially on this side. I don't know if you're able to see the fire in it. I'm really looking at this rock as it's going to be a real beautiful piece to make a pendant or something out of for jewelry. As we go along, we just keep going. Just want to make sure you check everything good, because as you go along like this, you can see what you're going to end up with. Like I said, though, as you go in future tumbles, it's going to be needing less and less water to get the shine out to. Now this was one I thought was beautiful, because you got like your clouds up here, and lightning trails coming down. It's amazing how these rocks come out as they tumble. It's hard to pick a side that you really like the most, because as you go through, they flash and fire up each and every different way. Now this one here, I can get it wet. Kind of leery about running it again, only due to it's got a crack almost all the way through it right here. As it dries, you can see it a little better, but I wanted to run it. If it gets any worse, or like it's gonna break, I'll have to pull it out of the thing. If it breaks during this run, this particular run, it'll be okay. Because this run, next run will be the 60-90 grain grit. And that's generally a starting grit for most rocks, even including tigereye. But I was working with some fresh, broken chunks that I worked with or whatever that I broke off of large plates. So that's where we're getting a lot of some of that, I guess, as I was breaking it, sure, it fractured. Like there's a fracture line there, but I don't think it's actually going to break. It's just going to, I think, add beauty to the stone. And as you can see, you got a lot of banding in there. These things are just, get them in sunlight and they're just going to glow like fire. Like I said, they're just amazing what you can get. There's some nice banding and inclusions in this one. Got some of your host rock and the inclusion. Nice separations in there. It'll be a beautiful polished stone at the end. I'm going to go ahead and take another break here while we get all this loaded up. As you see, I'm going to have a great, beautiful run on all this material. So, here's a stone that I was afraid to run. Really afraid it wasn't going to last. So, a beautiful banding through here. I think this would be just a beautiful pendant. Maybe a ring. For a beautiful ring for a beautiful lady. Anything. There's the back side of it. It's not too awful bad. It's hard to pick a front and a back on some of these. A little inclusion there, little pockets of inclusion. As it wears down, maybe these little polka dots will wear down a little bit, but you'll still have a beautiful stone to work with. All right, folks. I don't know if you seen what I started with last week. I had a good 3/4 barrel full of material. 1 week. That barrel is down to half. Now there are some chips here that I didn't include, just due to the fact I'm afraid they will not survive. So there's going to be another trick I'm going to see if I can do with these to make them shine up just as beautiful as the other. I got, somebody called this one a shark's tooth. Kind of a shark's tooth looking piece right there. It could be maybe glue back a stud on the back of it and be an earring. It's got a lot of host rock on the back side of it, and, you know, just what I feel like when I want to do it. But I think I'm going to probably be doing some jewelry out of some of this, unless somebody's going to buy it. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I might buy it as a... Okay, at a half a barrel, it's the minimum amount I can run as far as material. So I'm almost debating to add some more rough, but I don't want to really injure any of the rocks I've already started. So I'm going to go ahead and add my next layer, or my next run of material or grit. This is a 6090 grit with silicon carbide. And this, like I said before, this is normally like they would use for a first run. But since I was using such rough material to begin with, I wanted to get as much of the host rock away where I could see more of what we're dealing with in the rock itself. And as we go along, we're going to keep decreasing the size. The next run's going to be a 120, 220, which is going to be even more. That's normally a middle run. As we go along, we either use a pre-polish or a polish on one of the last steps. I'm running a 6-step system here to really get some more beauty out of these stones. My final polish step will be a micron size aluminum oxide, and that should just absolutely shine them up to jewelry quality. Now there might be one more step after this, depending on what they look like and the water you have. If you have really hot water, you might have to do a little bit of what they call a burnishing at the end. If you have hard water that has a lot of calcite in it, you want to run that through. You know, it's only an hour process. You know, about a tablespoon of like ivory soap flakes, hot water. Run it for about an hour. Run it with your beads that you put in there to cushion everything. Then as you go, it'll, like I said, for about an hour, it should just give them a good bath, get all the calcite deposit off, and any remaining, I doubt you would have much remaining, but any remaining grit that might happen to be anywhere in any of the pits or cracks. But beyond that, well, you shouldn't really need to do it. If you run half soft water, it's pretty good. As we go, we're going to fill this up to just under the top layer of rocks. I don't know if you're able to see that very well, but you want kind of the top of the rocks kind of exposed. And it's just the reverse of everything we did before. Make sure everything's wiped down good and there's no grit remaining from the first step. Because anything that remains from the first step or the step previous is going to affect what the next run's going to be. So if you leave a lot of crud in there or whatever, a lot of grit, especially the coarse grit, it's going to affect it. It's going to cause more scratching, and then you'll be tumbling and tumbling, can't figure out why you can't get your run right, because it doesn't want to work right. So we're going to go ahead and cap this one off. Go ahead and get her on the machine, and we'll probably talk to you in a week. And I hope in a week it'll be a lot cooler. I mean, it's the 7th of October and we're still pushing 101 degrees, and that ain't fun. Talk to you in a week, folks. Bye.